The Visitor from Aerolia, a short story of Alien Visitation. Maya pressed her nose against the cold bedroom window, watching the rain streak down the glass. Lightning flickered in the distance, illuminating the dark trees that bordered their backyard. She was about to turn away when she saw it, a bright streak of orange and white cutting through the storm clouds, moving fast and low across the sky. It wasn't like the shooting stars she'd seen before. This one was bigger, brighter, and it seemed to be getting closer. Maya's breath caught in her throat as the object disappeared behind the tree line with a flash that lit up the entire forest. A moment later, she felt a soft rumble through the floorboards beneath her feet. What was that? She whispered to herself. Heart pounding, Maya grabbed her raincoat and flashlight from the closet. She crept downstairs, careful to skip the creaky third step, and slipped out the back door into the cool night air. The rain had slowed to a drizzle, and the smell of wet earth filled her lungs. In the distance, beyond the garden and past the old wooden fence, she could see it, a column of dark smoke rising from deep within the woods. It twisted upward like a snake, barely visible against the night sky. Orange embers drifted up with it, glowing briefly before fading into darkness. Maya took a step toward the fence, then another. Her flashlight beam danced across the wet grass as she moved forward, drawn by an inexplicable curiosity. What had crashed out there? Was it a meteorite? A satellite? The thought sent a thrill of excitement through her chest. Maya Elizabeth Carter! She froze. Her mother's voice cut through the night like a blade. What on earth are you doing outside? Get back in this house right now! Maya turned to see her mother standing in the doorway, arms crossed, her face a mixture of worry and frustration. There was no point arguing. Reluctantly, she trudged back across the yard, stealing one last glance at the smoke rising from the woods. But, Mom, something crashed out there. I saw it fall from the sky. Inside, now. Her mother's tone left no room for discussion. It's the middle of the night, it's pouring rain, and you are not going wandering into those woods. We'll call the authorities in the morning if we need to. Maya hung her wet coat by the door and followed her mother back upstairs, but sleep was impossible. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, her mind racing with possibilities. What if it was something important? What if someone needed help? Hours passed. The house was silent except for the settling creaks of old wood and the occasional drip of rain from the gutters. Maya had just started to drift off when she heard it. A soft, hesitant knock at the front door. She sat up listening. Another knock, slightly louder this time. Maya crept to her bedroom door and peered out. She could hear her mother stirring in the master bedroom down the hall. The knocking came again, more urgent now. Who could that be at this hour? Her mother muttered, pulling on her robe as she emerged from her room. Maya followed at a distance as her mother descended the stairs and approached the front door. Through the decorative glass panel, they could make out a small silhouette standing on the porch. Her mother flipped on the porch light and opened the door. Standing there, soaking wet and shivering, was a boy who looked about Maya's age, maybe 10 or 11. He wore strange clothes, almost like a flight suit made of a smooth, silvery material that seemed to shimmer even in the dim light. His dark hair was plastered to his forehead, and his eyes, large and unusually bright, looked up at them with an expression of desperate hope. Please, he said, his voice soft and oddly melodic. I need help. They left me behind. Maya's mother hesitated only a moment before her instincts took over. Oh, you poor thing. Come in, Maya. Get some towels. Maya rushed to the bathroom and returned with an armful of towels as her mother guided the boy into the living room. He sat carefully on the edge of the couch, as if he wasn't quite sure how it worked. What's your name, sweetheart? Her mother asked gently, wrapping a towel around his shoulders. I am called... He paused, seeming to search for the right word. In Finn. My name is Finn. Where are your parents, Finn? How did you get here? The boy's expression grew sad, and for a moment, Maya thought she saw something flicker in his eyes, a shimmer of colors that shouldn't have been there. My family, they had to leave quickly. The ship was damaged. They said they would come back for me, but his voice trailed off and he looked down at his hands. And I've been waiting in the woods. I saw your lights and hoped. Waiting? In this weather? Her mother's voice was filled with concern. We need to call someone. The police. Or... No! The boy looked up sharply, fear evident in his face. Please, no authorities. They wouldn't understand. They might take me away, and then my family won't be able to find me when they return. Maya sat down on the coffee table across from Finn, studying him intently. There was something different about him, something she couldn't quite place. The way he moved was a little too careful, a little too deliberate. And his eyes, now that she looked closer, they weren't quite the same as everyone else's. They seemed to catch and reflect the light in unusual ways. The thing that crashed, Maya said slowly, in the woods. That was your ship, wasn't it? Her mother turned to her, confused. Maya, what are you talking about? But Finn was looking directly at Maya now, and she could see the truth written plainly on his face. He gave a small, almost imperceptible nod. You're not from here, Maya continued, her voice barely above a whisper. Not from our town, not even from our planet. Maya, her mother gasped. Finn stood up slowly, the towel falling from his shoulders. She's right, he said quietly. I didn't want to lie to you. You've been so kind. But I had no choice. As he spoke, his appearance began to shift slightly. It was subtle. His eyes grew a bit larger, their color shifting to something between violet and silver. We know her. His skin took on a faint luminescence, and the strange suit he wore seemed to pulse with soft light. My ship was hit by space debris, he explained. My family had to make an emergency separation to save the main vessel. My pod was supposed to follow, but the guidance system failed. They'll come back for me. I know they will. But I need somewhere safe to wait. Somewhere I won't be found by others who might not understand. Maya's mother stood frozen, her hand over her mouth, trying to process what she was seeing. Maya, however, felt a surge of excitement mixed with compassion. How long do you think they'll take to come back? 2, maybe 3 of your days, Finn replied. I can stay hidden. I won't be any trouble. I just needed to know there was someone who might help if I needed it. Someone kind. Maya looked at her mother, whose expression had shifted from shock to thoughtfulness. Finally, her mother let out a long breath and sat down heavily in the armchair. This is absolutely insane, she muttered. Then, looking at Finn with the same maternal concern she'd shown from the beginning, she asked, Are you hurt? Do you need food? Water? A smile broke across Finn's unusual features. I'm okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. The shed, Maya suggested. Out back. It's warm enough, and no one would think to look there. Her mother nodded slowly. We'll need to figure out what you eat, and we'll have to keep you hidden from the neighbors. She shook her head in disbelief at her own words. I can't believe I'm agreeing to this. You're a good person, Tin said earnestly. Both of you are. The universe needs more people like you. Later, as they settled Finn into the shed with blankets, a camping lantern, and some food they hoped he could eat, Maya felt a strange sense of wonder wash over her. She had been right about what fell from the sky. And now, standing here helping a visitor from another world, she realized that the universe was so much bigger and more mysterious than she'd ever imagined. Maya, Finn said as she was about to leave. Thank you for seeing me. For really seeing me, she smiled. Thank you for trusting us. As Maya walked back to the house with her mother, she looked up at the stars beginning to peek through the breaking clouds. Somewhere up there, Finn's family was racing back to find him. And here on Earth, 2 ordinary people were doing something extraordinary, offering kindness to a stranger from the stars. The woods were quiet now, disparted by the cries of the woods. But Maya knew that when she looked at those trees tomorrow, she'd remember this night, the night when wonder knocked on her door. and she answered. The next morning arrived with brilliant sunshine, as if the storm had never happened. Maya woke early, her first thought of their unusual guest in the shed. She dressed quickly and hurried downstairs to find her mother already in the kitchen, making an enormous breakfast. I wasn't sure what he could eat, her mother explained, gesturing to the array of food on the counter. Toast, eggs, fruit, cereal, yogurt. So I made a little of everything. Together they carried the food out to the shed. Maya knocked softly before opening the door. Finn was sitting cross-legged in the corner, his hand pressed against a small device that pulsed with gentle blue light. "Good morning," he said, looking up with a smile. "I've sent the signal. My family knows where I am now. They're adjusting their course." How long?" Maya asked, setting down the tray of food. "By tonight, I think. Maybe sooner." There was relief in his voice, but also something else, a hint of sadness. "Are you going to miss us?" Maya asked. Finn's luminescent eyes seemed to brighten. "Yes, very much." Her mother sat down on an overturned crate. "Well, until they arrive, you're our guest. Are you hungry?" Finn examined the food with curiosity, eventually selecting a piece of toast and an apple. As he ate, Maya found herself bursting with questions she'd been holding back since last night. "What's it like?" she blurted out. "Your world?" Finn took a thoughtful bite of the apple, his expression growing distant, as if he were looking at something far away. "My world, we call it Aerolia. It's nothing like Earth, and yet, in some ways, exactly the same." "What do you mean?" Maya's mother asked, drawn in despite herself. "Well," Finn began, "on Aerolia we don't have a single sun like you do. We orbit a binary star system, two suns that dance around each other. When both are in the sky, everything glows with golden and violet light. The shadows fall in two directions. And at twilight, when one sun sets before the other, the whole world turns the color of amethyst." Maya tried to imagine it, a sky with two suns, purple twilight. It sounds beautiful. It is. But what I miss most isn't the suns. It's the singing. "Singing?" her mother asked. Finn nodded, his expression wistful. "On Aerolia, the trees sing. They're not like your trees. They're crystalline structures that grow from harmonic resonances in the ground. When the wind blows through them, they create music. Every forest has its own song. The forest near my home plays in what you might call minor keys. Sad and beautiful. My mother says it's the oldest song on our world." "Trees that sing," Maya breathed. "I wish I could hear that." "Maybe one day you will. The universe is vast, but paths cross in unexpected ways." Finn set down the apple core and looked at them with those strange, wonderful eyes. "What else would you like to know?" The questions poured out of Maya then. Do you go to school? Do you have friends? What do you do for fun?" Finn laughed, a sound like wind chimes. "Yes, we learn, though not in buildings like your schools. Knowledge on Aerolia is shared through something we call resonance pools. They're bodies of liquid that hold memories and information. When you touch the surface, the knowledge flows into your mind. It's like reading an entire library in moments." "That would make homework much easier," Maya said, and they all laughed. "As for friends," Finn continued, "yes, I have many. My best friend is named Kale. He's the one who dared me to explore the outer sectors of our ship during the journey. That's how I ended up in the separation pod when the debris hit. I was somewhere I shouldn't have been." He looked down, embarrassed. "Kayla's probably very worried, and possibly in trouble for suggesting the exploration in the first place. Kids get into trouble everywhere, I guess," Maya's mother said with a knowing smile, "even in space." "What do you do for fun?" Maya pressed. Finn's face lit up. "We race like gliders through the crystal canyons. They're vessels that ride on concentrated beams of light, and you have to navigate through narrow passages without touching the walls. It's terrifying and thrilling. We also play a game called star catching. We project holograms of constellations and try to connect them in patterns before they shift. The faster you are, the more complex the patterns become. That sounds amazing, Maya said. Everything in your world sounds amazing. Earth is amazing too, Finn said thoughtfully. Your rain, for instance. We have precipitation on Aeloria, but it's more like luminous mist. It doesn't fall in drops the way yours does, nor does it crystallize into ice crystals you call snow. I stood outside last night for a while before I came to your door, just feeling the rain. It was incredible. And your moon, you only have one, but it's so bright and beautiful. We have 7 moons, but they're all small and dim. Yours lights up the whole night sky. Maya's mother had been listening quietly, but now she leaned forward. Finn, can I ask you something? Are there many worlds out there with people or beings like you? Oh, yes, Finn said. Hundreds of thousands that we know of, maybe millions we don't. The galaxy is teeming with life, all different, all unique. Some civilizations are much older than mine, with knowledge and technology we can't even comprehend. Others are younger, just beginning to look up at their stars and wonder what's out there. And Earth? Maya asked quietly. What about us? Finn's expression became gentle. Earth is special. You're at a threshold. You've begun to reach beyond your world, but you haven't yet learned that you're not alone. When that day comes, when your people join the greater community of worlds, everything will change. Is that day soon? Her mother asked. Time is difficult to predict. But yes, I think so. Your curiosity will lead you there. Curiosity is the most powerful force in the universe. He smiled at Maya. Just like your curiosity led you to help me. They talked for hours, Finn's stories painting pictures of a universe more wondrous than Maya had ever dreamed. He told them about the floating markets of Zenith Prime, where merchants from 1,000 worlds traded in goods and ideas. He described the eternal library of Casseron, a planet-sized archive where every book ever written in the known galaxy was preserved. Do you ever get scared? Maya asked at one point. Traveling through space, seeing all these incredible things. Finn considered this. Sometimes. The universe is beautiful, but it's also dangerous and incomprehensibly large. Sometimes I look out at the stars and feel so small. But my mother taught me something important. She said, we are small, yes, but we are also part of the universe experiencing itself. Every time you wonder, every time you feel awe, the cosmos becomes aware of its own magnificence. That makes me feel less afraid. Maya thought she understood. She felt it now, sitting in this ordinary shed, talking to someone from beyond the stars, that sense of being part of something vast and wonderful. As the afternoon sun began to sink toward the horizon, Finn suddenly straightened, his hand moving to the device at his side. It was pulsing more rapidly now, the blue light almost white. They're close, he said softly. Very close. Maya felt her heart sink even as excitement bubbled up inside her. Already? They moved outside into the backyard. The sky was painted in shades of orange and pink, the first stars just beginning to appear. Finn tilted his head as if listening to something they couldn't hear. There, he pointed upward. At first, Maya saw nothing. Then a shimmer in the air, like heat waves rising from summer pavement. The shimmer grew stronger, taking shape, a craft unlike anything she'd ever seen. It was sleek and organic looking, more like a living thing than a machine, with surfaces that seemed to flow like liquid metal. It made no sound as it descended, hovering about 20 feet above the grass. Maya's mother grabbed her hand, and they watched in awe as a beam of soft golden light extended down from the craft, illuminating Finn where he stood. He turned to them, his eyes bright with emotion. Thank you for everything, for your kindness, your curiosity, your courage. You've given me something precious, hope, that when our worlds finally meet, there will be people like you to welcome us. Will we ever see you again? Maya asked, her voice thick. The universe is vast, Finn said, but it has a way of bringing friends back together. Perhaps one day you'll visit Aeloria and hear the singing trees. Or perhaps I'll return here and you can show me more of this beautiful world. Either way, I'll never forget you. He stepped into the beam of light, and Maya watched in wonder as he began to rise, lifted gently upward as if he weighed nothing at all. He waved as he ascended, and they waved back, watching until he disappeared into the craft. For a moment, the ship hung there, silent and magnificent. Then, with a flash of light that left after images dancing in Maya's vision, it was gone, shooting upward so fast it seemed to simply vanish into the darkening sky. Maya and her mother stood in the backyard for a long time, staring up at the stars. Did that really just happen? Her mother finally whispered. Yeah, Maya said. It really did. That night, as Maya lay in bed, she thought about everything Finn had told them. Trees that sang, two suns, resonance pools of knowledge, racing on beams of light, and more. And somewhere up there beyond those stars, he was back with his family, traveling through wonders she could barely imagine. But Earth had its wonders too, she realized. Rain that fell in drops, a bright, beautiful moon, and people who would open their doors to a stranger in need, even if that stranger came from the stars. Mai smiled as she drifted off to sleep, already wondering what other mysteries the universe might bring to her door. And somewhere, in the vast darkness between the stars, she liked to think that Finn was wondering the same thing, already planning the day when their paths might cross again.